All right, I'm David with Sherpa Learning, back with Tony Macarella. Tony, you did a great job explaining different methods students might use to earn the complexity point, but maybe you could take us a little further and show us how it might be done in an LEQ. So, for example, we talked about the counter-argument method. Maybe you could show us how that would work.
Sure. One of the things that you can do, and actually in this example, I think you learn a little bit of one of the valuable ways to use a counterargument or a 2-to-1 thesis. So I think everybody at this stage of the game has studied the causes of World War I. And pretty much every teacher anywhere talks about nationalism. I mean, I know at its simplest form, teachers might mention the main causes: militarism, alliances, imperialism, nationalism. And then most of us, we look at that as this simple approach, and then we say, okay, now let's look at the complexities here, right? So anyway, a recent essay that I gave was, to what extent was nationalism the primary cause of World War I? And I have a student presented me with a thesis that essentially said, insofar as nationalism created, like Serbian nationalism and all that, created the tinderbox of the Balkans, which was the area that sparked the war, right? And that nationalism is what caused the growth and formation of the German Empire, which eventually was determined to be the aggressor nation, right? That nationalism was, in fact, the primary cause of World War I. And then in his counterargument, he goes, however, alliances expanded the war worldwide. And so maybe alliances were just as important. So that's his thesis, right? And then what he does is, in that third paragraph about alliances, he really sets alliances up as a straw man argument. So what he does is, he says, while it's true that the alliances, the Triple Entente, uses evidence, Triple Entente, Triple Alliance, while it's true that those cause the other nations to join, those alliances themselves were created, at least at their root, by Bismarck in Germany as part of his attempt to make Germany the best in Europe and the greatest power in Europe, which is a nationalist tendency. So in fact, the nationalism caused the alliances, and so isn't nationalism actually the root cause of the war? And so that would be another way you could get complexity. If you do that sort of an argument where you transition into this counter argument, but then you say, but in reality the counter argument is not actually is actually pointing back to my original argument. That's the straw man.
All right, very cool. Thank you, Tony.
You got it, Dave.